The quiet shores of early Greece. Picture yourself standing on a quiet, sun-warmed shore a very, very long time ago. The air is still, and the sea whispers gentle secrets as it touches the sand. What if a simple sound, a calm thought, or a small stone held the beginning of almost everything we know today? This story is about those soft beginnings in a place called ancient Greece. It's not a story of loud battles or fast races, but a story of how simple, clear ideas started their journey here, creating a quiet, golden glow that reaches all the way to your comfortable room tonight. Just like the gentle waves, these simple ideas from long ago still touch our lives. The very first gentle glow of this story begins along the rocky, warm shores of the Aegean Sea. Imagine small villages where life was hard but simple. People looked up at the stars and looked out at the vast, peaceful water. They were asking the first soft questions. How does the world work? Where does the sun go? They didn't have big cities yet, just small, quiet groups. The land was full of mountains, which kept these groups separate, like gentle islands of thought. This quiet separation actually helped them think new, clear thoughts on their own. The air was clear, the light was bright, and the seeds of deep, patient thinking were planted in this simple, sun-drenched soil. As time went by, these small, quiet groups slowly began to grow bigger and find each other. They learned to build simple ships to sail between the many quiet islands and along the calm coastlines. This sharing of the sea meant they also shared ideas. The things they traded were not just pots and olive oil, but also words and peaceful questions. They started to write things down using easy, flowing letters that were easier to learn than the old, hard symbols. This simple change, making words easy to write, was like opening a door to all the knowledge that came later. It allowed the history we are sharing now to be written down softly and slowly for you. What this early history truly means is the gentle power of balance. Because the land was split by mountains and the people were spread across many islands, no one person or one place could ever hold all the power for too long. They had to talk, they had to trade fairly, they had to learn the value of quiet agreement. This created a feeling of calm and fairness, which grew into the idea that every person should have a small, simple say in how their quiet community was run. It wasn't perfect, but this was the very first peaceful step toward the idea of people governing themselves, built on the simple need to be balanced and fair. This quiet start on the gentle shores shows us the beginning of the great, hidden connection we are exploring. It teaches us that big things often start in very small, simple, and peaceful ways. The shared need to navigate the sea and to talk across the mountains forced them to invent ways to be fair, to write clearly, and to think deeply. This early, soft need for balance is the hidden force, the gentle mystery, that you'll see woven through all of history. It's like a quiet, glowing thread that connects their simple shore to our complicated modern world, asking us to also find balance. Now picture those first simple ships, sailing slowly under a sky full of quiet stars. They were carrying not gold, but simple thoughts, the kind of thoughts that led to democracy, philosophy, and science. The simple glow of this history is still here, waiting. What gentle, quiet idea, first thought of on a long ago shore, will we discover resting just below the surface of our own lives tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Hills that taught us to think. Picture yourself now in a small, quiet grove of ancient olive trees on a sun-drenched hill. We are moving gently from the simple shore of the last chapter to the calm, silent hills where something amazing began to happen. People started to use their minds in a brand new, soft way. They stopped just listening to thunder and began to listen to the soft, quiet voice of reason. What if the very act of sitting quietly and thinking clearly is the greatest, most peaceful gift we ever received from the past? This chapter is about those first clear thoughts that started on the quiet, rocky hills of Greece. The gentle beginnings of this change happened not in busy palaces, but in the quiet air of the countryside. Early thinkers, who we call philosophers, which just means lovers of wisdom, began to ask simple, honest questions. They saw the sea and the sky and wondered if the world was just chaos, or if there was a simple, peaceful, hidden order to everything. Instead of saying, "A god did this," they started to say, "What if there is a simple rule, like water always flowing down?" This change, from believing only in old stories to trusting their own clear sight, was the quietest, biggest change in all of history. One of the most important stories from this time is about how these thinkers started to break down the world into simple parts. For example, some wondered, what is everything made of? One thought it was water, another thought it was air. They weren't just guessing. They were looking for a single, simple element that connected everything, like a quiet, hidden hum. This patient search for simple, underlying truth taught them to look past the surface and to use careful, slow steps of logic. They taught the world how to make a clear, simple argument, one steady, quiet step at a time. The deep meaning of this change is the peaceful trust in the human mind. By using reason, they took away the fear of the unknown. If you can use clear thinking to explain why the moon moves, you don't have to be scared of the dark. This gave people a gentle feeling of control and quiet strength. It showed that we don't need loud shouts or magic to understand the world. We just need a quiet mind and a clear, simple question. This trust in simple, honest thinking became the foundation for science, law, and all the calm systems we use today. This movement from the noisy shore to the quiet thinking hill shows us the great hidden force at work again. It reveals that the true connection across all time is the shared human ability to think. The very first thinkers, with their simple questions, started a quiet domino effect that never stopped. Every time you try to solve a problem clearly in your own mind, you are following their gentle, peaceful footsteps. This ancient way of thinking, of finding a simple rule behind a complicated thing, is the secret, glowing force that links their simple time to your complex life right now, making everything feel a little calmer and clearer. Close your eyes now and picture that simple, gentle hill where the first clear thoughts were born, like cool, clean water bubbling from a spring. Imagine the soft, quiet feeling of finally understanding a simple, clear truth about the world. What simple, clear thought is waiting for you to discover tonight, just by being still and quiet? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The first soft whisper of freedom. Picture yourself now stepping into a quiet open space, warm with the sun, surrounded by simple stone benches. This is where something truly new and peaceful started. The idea that people could talk and decide things together. We moved gently from the quiet thinkers on the hills to the open space of the city, where the very first soft whisper of freedom began. What if the simple act of listening to each other is the most powerful magic in the world? This story is about how people learn to share the quiet work of ruling themselves, which still helps to shape our world today. This great, simple idea of everyone having a voice started in a city we call Athens. At first, like everywhere else, just a few strong people made all the loud, quick decisions. But because the people had learned to think clearly from the philosophers, they started to ask simple, fair questions. Why should only a few people speak for everyone? Slowly, gently, they created a new kind of government, democracy, which simply means people power. It wasn't perfect, but for the first time, ordinary people had a simple chance to stand up and speak their minds in a quiet public space. The important story of this time is how they made this system work. Imagine a large group of people gathered peacefully in that sunny open space. They didn't have fast-moving electronic votes. They had simple, slow hands raised in the air or small, clear stones dropped into a jar. They debated slowly, trying to convince each other with clear, thoughtful words. The rules were simple. Everyone who was a citizen had the chance to speak and be listened to with respect. This system was built on the quiet understanding that clear thinking, which they had learned on the hills, was the best way to make good decisions. What this simple democracy truly means is the calm dignity of every human voice. It matters because it showed the world that power doesn't have to be a loud, heavy crown held by one person. Power could be a quiet, shared responsibility. It was a gentle, powerful statement that every person, no matter how simple their life, held a part of the whole truth. This made the people feel more connected, more responsible, and more at peace, knowing their quiet opinion counted. This gentle shift toward shared rule shows us the hidden force connecting all history, the deep human need for fairness and respect. The idea of democracy is a direct child of the simple, clear thinking we discussed in the last chapter. It's the moment when individual thought leaves the quiet grove and walks into the public square, demanding a place. This quiet, glowing connection, that clear thought leads to simple fairness, which leads to shared power, is the gentle mystery woven through time, asking us to also listen quietly to all voices today. Now, picture those simple stone benches, empty and quiet in the warm sun. They wait patiently, holding the memory of those first brave, quiet voices. They remind us that freedom is not loud shouting, but soft, patient, clear speech. What gentle word or clear thought will you carry into your own quiet life tonight, knowing that your single, simple voice holds great power? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Simple columns. Holding up dreams. Picture yourself standing softly before a building of white stone, quiet and strong, reaching up to the clear blue sky. We move gently now from the simple ideas of shared power to the simple, beautiful shapes they created with their hands. What if the feeling of peace and balance we feel when we look at a beautiful structure is an ancient lesson they wanted to send forward to us? This story is about the simple columns and gentle lines that taught the world how to build with quiet order and lasting beauty. The simple beauty of Greek building began with a very quiet, gentle understanding of balance. They understood that a building should look as natural and as calm as a tall, healthy tree or a peaceful, upright person. They used simple, easy math, not for numbers but for shape and proportion. They invented the column, which is just a strong, simple pillar, but they made it beautiful. They gave it gentle, straight lines that make your eye feel calm as you look up. This quiet use of simple geometry created buildings that seem to stand with perfect, lasting ease. The important story of these beautiful buildings is in the details of the columns themselves. They didn't just use one kind. They had three main, simple styles. The first was Doric, which was very plain and strong, like a simple, kind farmer. The second was Ionic, which had gentle, soft scrolls at the top, like the quiet turning of a scroll of paper. The third was Corinthian, which was decorated with simple leaves, like the quiet growth of nature. Each simple style had a feeling of its own, but all of them followed the same gentle rule: use math to make beauty. They taught the world that order can be beautiful, not just useful. What these simple columns truly mean is the calm, universal language of proportion. Even today, when we see a building that feels peaceful and right, it is often because it follows the gentle, simple rules the Greeks first discovered. Their use of straight lines and easy balanced shapes speaks directly to our quiet inner need for order and harmony. They were showing us that even the heaviest stone could be arranged in a way that felt light, easy, and endlessly comforting. This quiet lesson about form is why their simple style was copied by future generations across the world. This gentle journey from the spoken word in the city to the quiet lines of a building shows us the hidden, gentle force that connects thought to action. The ideas of balance and order that they used in their democracy, last chapter, were the very same ideas they used to build their temples. The connection is clear. Clear thought leads to clear shape, which leads to lasting peace. This gentle, quiet pattern, finding the same simple rules in the mind and in the stone, is the central mystery that keeps reappearing, a golden thread that holds history together. Now close your eyes and picture that strong, simple, white column standing quiet and tall against the night sky. Feel its perfect, gentle balance. It has stood for thousands of years, holding up a dream of beauty and order. What simple, strong structure will you build in your own quiet mind tonight, based on balance and peace? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Finding calm in the stars above. Picture yourself now looking up at the vast, quiet, dark canvas of the night sky, dotted with the soft glow of 1,000 stars. We move gently from the simple shapes they built on the ground to the simple shapes they found far above them in the heavens. What if the desire to find order in the sky is the same deep, simple peace we try to create in our own homes? This chapter is about how the Greeks taught us to look up, not with fear, but with calm, thoughtful wonder. The gentle beginning of this stargazing started with the simple need to know the time. Farmers needed to know when to plant, and sailors needed to know how to find their way across the wide, calm sea. They noticed that the stars and the planets moved in a quiet, steady circle, repeating the same steps every night. They realized the sky was not random. It followed simple, perfect, gentle rules. They began to make maps, connecting the brightest stars with simple lines, creating pictures of heroes and animals. This act of drawing order in the sky made the universe feel less scary and much more peaceful. The important story of their study of the stars is how they used simple math and clear sight. They didn't have big telescopes, just their eyes and their clear, sharp minds. They figured out that the Earth was round, like a simple, quiet ball floating in space. They even measured the size of the Earth using only shadows and simple geometry, the same simple lines they used for their buildings, last chapter. This was a wonderful moment when they proved that simple reason could unlock the biggest secrets of the universe. They replaced loud, fearful myths with quiet, trustworthy, beautiful facts. What this ancient stargazing truly means is the calming power of prediction. When you know the sun will rise and the seasons will follow their quiet, steady path, you can live with more peace and less worry. Their simple studies taught us that the world, both up close and far away, is governed by a beautiful, dependable order. This gave them, and gives us, a deep feeling of comfort. It showed them that the simple laws of nature are like a good, faithful friend who is always there, creating a safe rhythm for all life. This peaceful shift from columns of stone to the perfect circles of the planets shows us the gentle, hidden force at work again. The love of order and balance they applied to their city-state and to their architecture is the very same love of order they applied to the quiet universe. The connection is unbreakable. Seeking simple order on Earth leads to finding simple order in the sky. This quiet, glowing thread of a single unifying law is the gentle mystery that connects their ancient wisdom to the calm systems we use to understand the world today. Now close your eyes and picture the perfect silent circle of stars above a quiet, dark Greek hill. Feel the calm, deep rhythm of the planets moving exactly as they should, year after peaceful year. What simple, steady rhythm will you find in your own quiet life tonight, knowing that you are part of this perfect, quiet, vast order? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The comfort of ancient Greek words. Picture yourself now holding a simple, clean piece of clay with strange, beautiful letters carved into it. We move gently from the quiet, simple shapes of the sky to the quiet, simple shapes of written words. What if the very words we use today to talk about deep things, like freedom, peace, and thought, are simply gentle echoes of sounds made long ago in Greece? This story is about how their simple alphabet and their clear words gave us the tools to talk about our modern world with depth and calm. The gentle story of their language began with the simple wonderful idea of the alphabet. Before this, many cultures used hundreds of complex pictures to represent words, which was very hard to learn. The Greeks took a simpler idea. They decided that each gentle sound we make should have just one simple letter. This made writing and reading easy and fast. Suddenly, knowledge was not a secret held only by the few. It was a peaceful gift that everyone could share. This simple set of letters allowed them to write down the complex thoughts and clear laws they were discovering. The important history of this language is in the words themselves. They created simple, deep words for the big, important ideas that matter to us today. They gave us logic, which is the simple idea of clear, structured thought. They gave us history, which is the simple idea of finding out what happened. They gave us philosophy, which is the simple idea of loving wisdom. They gave us democracy, which is the simple idea of people ruling. These words are not just labels. They are like gentle, strong boxes built to hold great ideas for thousands of years. What these simple words truly mean is the calm ability to think clearly together. Because they had simple, clear words for complex ideas, they could talk about things like fairness and government without confusion. The language itself was built for gentle, patient discussion, not for quick shouts or arguments. It allowed the quiet ideas from the thinkers on the hill to be understood by the farmers and the sailors. This simple, shared language created a community of thought that was stable, calm, and able to build a lasting civilization. This gentle journey from the beautiful order of the stars, last chapter, to the beautiful order of words shows us the single, hidden force, the constant human desire for clear, simple communication. The same love of simple structure that made their buildings stand strong and their star maps clear made their words easy to read and understand. The connection is direct. Simple letters lead to clear words, which lead to shared, peaceful ideas. This glowing thread of clarity is the gentle mystery that links their culture to the diverse traditions we see today. Now close your eyes and listen to the simple, soft sound of the words you are hearing. They are carrying a great, ancient message, whispering gentle ideas from long ago. The letters are quiet, strong vessels for human thought. What gentle, clear word will you use tonight to describe your own deepest desire for peace and rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Little pots, telling long-forgotten tales. Picture yourself now walking gently through a quiet, shadowed room, filled with simple clay objects that were once held in warm, human hands. We move from the power of words to the simple, silent stories found on little painted pots. What if the most important history is not found in the loud words of kings, but in the peaceful, simple pictures of everyday life? This story is about how ancient Greeks connected their myths and their daily lives by painting them gently onto simple, rounded vases. The gentle origin of these painted pots is the simple, everyday life of the people. These pots, or vases, were used for everything: holding oil, drinking wine, carrying water. They were not just tools, they were the quiet canvases of the home. People began to paint simple pictures on them to make them beautiful, following the same love of balance and shape they used in their buildings. They created simple, flowing lines, often painting figures in black or red against the smooth, dark clay. This art was a simple, everyday beauty shared by all. The important story told by these little pots is the sharing of culture. The pictures on them showed two main things: the stories of their gods and heroes, and the simple pictures of their own daily life. You might see a picture of a mighty hero like Odysseus, or you might simply see a picture of a woman weaving quietly at home. These pots travelled far and wide, carried by ships, chapter 1, sharing the Greek stories and their simple way of life with other cultures. They were like silent, gentle messengers, carrying the stories of Greek thought and peace to distant lands. What these simple pots truly mean is the calm connection between the grand and the small. They showed that the deep, important myths about gods and fate were just as important as the simple, peaceful act of pouring water or practicing music. They taught a gentle, simple lesson. History and human life are all one story. The art on the pots reminded people that even in their most everyday moments, they were connected to the long, powerful chain of human history and myth. This gentle connection from the simple strength of words, last chapter, to the simple pictures on the pots, shows us the hidden, unifying force, the constant human need to make the unseen visible in a simple way. Just as they gave simple letters to every sound, they gave simple, clear pictures to every story and myth. The connection is clear. Simple pictures on pots lead to shared stories, which leads to peaceful understanding across different people. This quiet, glowing thread of shared visual language is the gentle mystery that links their culture to the diverse traditions we see today. Now, close your eyes and picture one of these little pots, resting quietly in the dark. It holds the simple shape of life and the gentle beauty of a story painted long ago. The pictures are soft, quiet shadows telling a very old tale. What simple, quiet moment from your own day will you remember and hold gently in your mind as you drift off to sleep? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The oldest stories about brave heroes. Picture yourself now sitting close to a gentle, quiet fire in the deep darkness. We move from the simple pictures on the pots to the epic, deep stories those pictures often told. The stories of brave heroes. What if the very first lessons about courage, loss, and the long journey home are all whispered in these ancient, gentle tales? This chapter is about the powerful, calming rhythm of their oldest stories that shaped how we think about a good life and a safe journey. The gentle origin of these heroic stories is the need to remember and teach. Before people wrote everything down, the simple, important tales were sung or spoken slowly, rhythmically, over many nights. The most famous ones, like the story of the long journey of Odysseus after a great war, taught lessons about patience, cleverness, and the gentle desire for home. These stories were not just entertainment. They were the quiet first school for everyone, teaching children how to be strong, kind, and thoughtful in a world that was often very hard. The important story in these ancient tales is the humanness of the heroes. They were not perfect. They often made simple mistakes. They missed their quiet homes, felt deep sadness, and struggled to choose the right path. This was the great, important lesson, that being brave does not mean being fearless. It means feeling fear, making a mistake, and then using clear thought to find a peaceful, right way forward. These simple human qualities made the heroes relatable, showing that even the simplest person could face the big problems of life with courage and patience. What these old stories truly mean is the comfort of the shared journey. Every person, whether they lived long ago or are listening today, goes on a kind of journey filled with simple problems and big choices. These tales gave people a gentle map for their own lives. They showed that after every long period of darkness or trouble, there is the hope of a peaceful return to light and rest. This feeling of a shared path, a quiet understanding of life's cycles, brought a great sense of comfort and calm to the people. This gentle link from the simple pictures on pots, last chapter, to the deep stories those pictures told shows us the hidden, unifying force, the constant human need to find meaning in a simple narrative. The quest for home and balance in the stories is the same quest they looked for in their government, their architecture, and their study of the stars. The connection is simple. Deep stories lead to shared values, which lead to a peaceful, stronger society. This glowing thread of shared wisdom is the gentle mystery that connects their ancient fireside tales to the quiet comfort we find in stories today. Now close your eyes and listen to the soft, slow rhythm of the ancient bard's voice, telling of a hero finally sailing home under a quiet night sky. Feel the peaceful relief of the long journey ending well. What simple, safe harbor will you return to in your own heart tonight as you let your mind drift off to deep rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The quiet, hidden force of order. Picture yourself now in a place of quiet, deep darkness, where the air feels still and full of unseen movement. We move gently from the visible heroes of the old stories to the invisible, gentle forces that quietly shaped their lives. What if every story, every law, and every star in the sky is secretly guided by a quiet, repeating pattern they learned to trust? This chapter is about the simple, profound idea that a hidden, peaceful order guides the whole world. The gentle origin of this idea of hidden force is found in the repeated things they saw every day. They watched the seasons change, the moon wax and wane, and the simple pattern of life, death, and rebirth. They started calling this deep, reliable order things like logos, which means word or reason, or fate, a simple, steady destiny. This wasn't a scary magic. It was the quiet, mathematical rule that made the universe dependable. It was the understanding that everything, from the fall of a leaf to the rise of an empire, followed a simple, inevitable path. The important story of this discovery is how it moved their thought. The earliest thinkers noticed that the sounds in music followed simple math. They noticed that the perfect shapes in geometry followed simple, unchanging rules. They realized that the same simple math was in the stars, chapter 5, the columns, chapter 4, and the rhythm of their stories, chapter 8. They concluded that this unseen, quiet mathematical force was the true ruler of the universe. It meant that the world was not random or chaotic, but calmly and perfectly organized, waiting for us to understand it. What this hidden force truly means is the deep comfort of certainty. It gave people a quiet peace, knowing that even if their life was troubled or sad, they were part of a larger, perfect, quiet design. The hidden force told them that everything happens for a reason that is logical and clear, even if they could not see it yet. This simple, profound belief in a reliable, peaceful pattern was a powerful antidote to worry and fear, allowing them to face life with more dignity and calm. This gentle deepening from the brave heroes, last chapter, to the unseen forces that guided them, shows us the core of the central mystery. The hidden force is simply the perfect, quiet order that they sought in all things. It is the glowing thread that connects the simple laws of physics to the moral choices of a hero, showing that logic and life are one. The connection is profound. Believing in a hidden, simple pattern leads to a life lived with peace and dignity. This unifying golden force is the gentle mystery that links their search for simple truth to our own desire for inner calm today. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet, unseen rhythm of the world around you. The slow turning of the earth, the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Everything is following a simple, perfect, hidden pattern. What simple, reliable rhythm will you allow your own quiet heart to follow tonight as you drift into the deep certainty of sleep? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The calm blend of truth and myth. Picture yourself now at a gentle crossroads where two quiet paths meet, the path of the scientific truth and the path of the deep myth. We move gently from the single, hidden force to the two quiet ways they used to talk about it. What if both their simple stories about the gods and their clear thoughts about science were actually trying to tell the exact same peaceful truth? This chapter is about how they used both myth and reason to find a single, calm understanding of the world. The gentle origin of this dual view is simply the human way of seeing things. When they looked at a sunset, they could choose two simple ways to understand it. They could say, the sun god, Helios, is driving his fiery chariot to his quiet rest. That is the path of the myth, a beautiful, memorable story. Or they could say, The Earth is rotating away from the sun's light in a perfect geometric circle. That is the path of reason, a clear, predictable fact. Both were simple ways to explain the same quiet, reliable pattern. The important story of this time is that the Greeks often held both ideas peacefully in their minds. The wise thinkers who studied geometry and stars, chapter 5, still enjoyed the old rhythmic tales of heroes, chapter 8, and gods. They realized that the myth was a simple, colorful way to teach a moral lesson to the heart, while the reason was a clear way to teach a logical lesson to the mind. They understood that both paths were searching for the same single hidden force of order and goodness. Chapter 9. What holding both myth and reason truly means is the calm, wide acceptance of different kinds of truth. It shows that you don't have to throw away a beautiful, peaceful story just because you find a clear, logical explanation. It taught them to be gentle and patient with different kinds of learning. This simple, open-minded approach created a deep, quiet culture that valued both the simple, warm feeling of a story and the cool, clear logic of an equation. They found peace in knowing that truth could wear two different beautiful masks. This gentle expansion from the hidden force, last chapter, into the tales of myth and truth, shows us the core of the central mystery in action. The glowing thread is the unchanging, simple pattern of order that the Greeks saw everywhere. It is the understanding that the structure of a story is the same as the structure of the stars. The connection is profound. Finding a peaceful middle way between story and science leads to a richer, calmer understanding of the world. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that helps us use our hearts and our minds in balance today. Now, close your eyes and picture those two quiet paths, the clear, straight line of logic and the winding, story-filled path of myth, meeting in a peaceful, gentle light. Both are leading you to the same place of rest. What simple, calming story, or what clear, simple fact will you use tonight to quiet your mind and guide you to deep, peaceful sleep? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The long, quiet journey of ideas. Picture yourself now looking down on a slow, winding river that flows quietly from the distant past right into the modern day. We move gently from the two ways of seeing the world, myth and reason, to the long, quiet journey those ideas took across thousands of years. What if all the calm, clear ideas from Greece simply went to sleep for a long time, waiting to be rediscovered by us? This chapter is about how their simple wisdom made peaceful, deep connections far into the future. The gentle origin of this long connection is the simple fact that good ideas are strong. When the great Greek cities grew quiet and their empires faded, their books, their simple columns, chapter 4, and their deep thoughts did not vanish. They were like seeds carried on a quiet wind. Other cultures, like the Romans and later the peaceful scholars in the East, simply picked up these seeds and held them safely. They didn't invent new ideas. They just became the quiet caretakers of the Greek ones, carefully writing them down and translating them into other simple languages. The important story of this journey is the great, peaceful silence in the middle. For hundreds of years, the deep ideas of democracy, chapter 3, and philosophy, chapter 2, were mostly silent in the West. They were not forgotten, but they were sleeping in quiet libraries and distant lands, like little glowing lanterns waiting to be lit again. Then, slowly and gently, travelers and scholars brought the scrolls back. It was like waking up an old, kind friend. The ideas came back, stronger and clearer than ever, ready to help build a new modern world. What this long, quiet journey truly means is the calm, enduring power of simple ideas. It teaches us that truth does not rush. Even if an idea is put aside for a long time, if it is simple, clear, and true, like the idea of balance or the idea of logic, it will always find its way back to the light. This gives us a quiet, deep hope that the simple, good thoughts we have today will also gently travel into the future, helping those who come after us find peace and clear thinking. This gentle evolution from their ideas, last chapter, to the long, quiet connections across time shows us the single, hidden force at its most patient. The glowing thread is the unceasing flow of simple, organizing reason. It is the knowledge that the world's quiet order, chapter 9, is so powerful that it ensures that good, clear ideas are never truly lost. The connection is vast. Respect for ancient wisdom leads to a strong, balanced future. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that comforts us. Knowing our own small, clear thoughts are part of this endless, peaceful river. Now, close your eyes and picture that slow, quiet river, carrying a simple wooden boat with a single, softly glowing Greek scroll in its center. The boat moves gently from the deep shadows into a clear, bright light. What simple, peaceful idea will you carry quietly with you into tomorrow, trusting it will bring light and calm when you need it? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The calm clarity of returning ideas. Picture yourself now in a quiet, simple room, gently holding a map that shows all the places the Greek ideas rested. We move gently from the long, quiet journey their ideas took to the clear, simple meanings they provided when they woke up again. What if the simple words we use every day to talk about justice, peace, and beauty are the most powerful gifts given to us by this ancient sleep? This chapter is about how those returning ideas brought a calm clarity to the modern mind. The gentle origin of this clarity is the moment when the sleeping scrolls, chapter 11, were finally opened in the New World. When people read the clear, simple words of the Greek thinkers, it was like suddenly being able to see in the dark. The simple, logical rules for thinking, chapter 2, and the fair rules for ruling, chapter 3, came back and gave people a framework for a better world. They realized that the quiet problems they faced had already been clearly thought about and discussed long ago. The important story of this time is how the ideas became building blocks for a new society. When people started to build new governments, they didn't invent new things out of chaos. They simply picked up the clear, simple plans left by the Greeks. They used the simple columns, chapter 4, for their buildings to make them look strong and balanced. They used the simple idea of democracy to give power to the people. They used the simple logic to write new laws. The returning ideas gave them a peaceful, strong foundation, saving them the trouble of having to start the search for order all over again. What this renewed clarity truly means is the calm, guiding power of a clear beginning. It teaches us that to solve complex problems, we must always return to the simple, clear, first principles. The Greek gift was not only the idea itself, but the clear, simple language to talk about it. Chapter 6. This clarity allows for gentle, peaceful discussion rather than confusion or loud arguments. The simple, clear meanings of their words give us the calm ability to think and talk about our own lives with honesty and precision. This gentle advancement from the quiet journey, last chapter, to the clear meanings found today shows us the central mystery at its quietest. The glowing thread is the simple, unvarying pattern of human reason that always seeks to return to clarity. The connection is profound. Clear, simple meanings lead to ordered thinking, which leads to peaceful social structures. The force that made the stars predictable, chapter 5, is the same force that made their laws simple and easy to understand. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that ensures that simplicity is the truest path to peace. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet comfort of a simple, clear understanding. Picture a foggy day suddenly clearing, revealing a calm, clear landscape. What simple, clear word of kindness or peace will you keep in your mind tonight, allowing its meaning to gently guide your rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Simple, geometric pictures of truth. Picture yourself now looking at a very simple, quiet picture. like a perfectly round circle or a straight line. We move gently from the clear meanings of the words to the simple, quiet pictures that contain the same deep ideas. What if these simple shapes are a secret language that connects all history, whispering of order and balance to the quiet part of your mind? This chapter is about how Greeks used simple geometric pictures to communicate vast, peaceful ideas. The gentle origin of these simple picture links is in the study of geometry, which simply means earth measure. The thinkers realized that a simple circle or a perfect square had an unchanging, simple truth that was true for everyone, everywhere. A triangle is a triangle whether you draw it in Greece or on the other side of the world. These shapes became peaceful, universal language, clearer than any spoken word. They were simple pictures of the hidden order, chapter 9, that underlies all things. The important story of these picture links is how they taught the world to see. The simple picture of a circle taught them about completeness, endlessness, and the calm cycle of life. The simple picture of a perfectly straight line taught them about truth, directness, and logic. Chapter 2. These shapes were not just for building. Chapter 4. They were simple tools for the mind, helping people organize their thoughts as cleanly as they drew their shapes. This patient use of simple pictures led to a calm, clear way of thinking that is still the foundation of all science and engineering. What these simple picture links truly mean is the calm assurance of simple, shared truth. They show that even the deepest, most complex thoughts can be broken down into a few simple, universal shapes. They gave people a quiet certainty that there is an unchanging reality, a perfect pattern that exists whether humans see it or not. This quiet knowledge that a perfect order exists in the world, shown through simple pictures, brings a deep sense of peace and stability to the searching mind. This gentle building from clear meanings, last chapter, to simple picture links shows us the central mystery at its most pure. The glowing thread is the simple, geometric order that the Greeks found in all parts of life, from the stars to the soul. The connection is beautiful. Simple geometric pictures lead to clear, universal truth, which leads to peaceful consensus. The perfect circle drawn on a simple floor is a direct, peaceful message from the ancient mind to your own quiet mind today. Now, close your eyes and picture a simple, perfect, quiet circle drawn in the sand. It is whole, complete, and perfectly balanced. Feel the calm, gentle perfection of that simple shape. What simple, perfect picture of peace and wholeness will you hold in your mind tonight as you let your thoughts drift into rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Simple shapes that built the modern world. Picture yourself now looking at the simple shape of a bridge or a quiet, well-organized garden. We move gently from the pure pictures of geometry to how those simple shapes became the truths that build our world today. What if every time you see a straight line or a perfect curve, you are seeing a quiet, practical gift from those ancient thinkers? This chapter is about how their simple, peaceful pictures became the strong bones of our modern life. The gentle origin of this modern truth is the simple idea that geometry is useful for life. The Greeks did not just draw shapes for fun, they used their simple picture links to solve real, quiet problems. They figured out how to drain water from fields using simple angles. They figured out how to divide land fairly using simple squares. They used the straight line to measure distance and build roads. This simple, clear application of geometry was the very first step toward engineering, which is just the quiet, patient work of building a safe, ordered world. The important story of this development is how the shapes were passed to builders and thinkers across time. The simple picture of the arch, which is just a perfect curve, made buildings stronger and more beautiful. Chapter 4. The simple pictures of maps, Chapter 5, drawn with clear straight lines, allowed for safe trade and travel. Every simple shape that the Greeks defined with clarity became a trusted tool for every culture that followed. Their simple pictures gave the world a universal, quiet language of construction that is still used to build everything from your house to your phone. What applying these simple pictures to modern truths truly means is the calm, practical power of simple order. It shows that the most complex systems we have today, from the speed of a car to the design of a computer chip, are all built on a very small number of clear, simple, ancient principles. This gives us a deep sense of peace, that the world is not ruled by chaos, but by a few gentle, trustworthy laws. This simple, practical knowledge that order is the key to both beauty and function brings a quiet assurance to the modern mind. This gentle development from pure pictures, last chapter, to the truths they build today shows us the quiet, hidden force working in the world. The glowing thread is the constant practical application of simple order that flows from the mind into the material world. The connection is direct. Simple picture links lead to practical engineering, which leads to a safe, comfortable, modern life. The hidden force of logic, chapter 9, is simply the blueprint for all the good things we build. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that assures us that clear thinking is the foundation of all lasting peace. Now, close your eyes and picture a simple, straight road, perfectly aligned, stretching quietly into the distance. Feel the calm confidence that comes from a world built with order and simple geometry. What simple, clear plan for peace and rest will you set for yourself tonight, knowing that simple rules lead to lasting calm? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The single, simple secret of peace. Picture yourself now sitting quietly, feeling the warm, gentle light of many clear ideas shining all at once. We move gently from the simple application of geometry to the first quiet revelations that all these pieces of the story are one single, peaceful whole. What if the simple key to peace is realizing that the ancient ideas and our modern lives are perfectly connected? This chapter shares the first quiet answers about the deep link between their world and ours. The gentle origin of this revelation is the simple realization that one idea gave birth to everything. The idea of balance from the shores, chapter 1, led to the idea of clear thought on the hills, chapter 2. Clear thought led to balanced democracy, chapter 3. Balance led to balanced architecture, chapter 4, and balanced star maps, chapter 5. The simple clarity of their language, chapter 6, allowed them to share these ideas through stories, chapter 8, and simple geometric pictures, chapter 13, that built our world, chapter 14. It all flows from a single, simple desire for order and peace. The important story of this revelation is the hidden unity of their culture. Unlike other civilizations that kept their law, their art, and their math separate, the Greeks saw them all as different sides of the same simple coin. Their belief in a hidden force, chapter 9, was not a myth. It was the blueprint for their entire world. They consciously tried to make their cities, their laws, and even their bodies, chapter 17, reflect the same simple golden rule of harmony. This gentle, deliberate search for a unified, simple pattern is the most powerful lesson they left us. What this key revelation truly means is the calm, guiding simplicity of life. It shows us that to live a peaceful life today, we don't need 1,000 complicated rules. We just need to return to the simple, clear idea of balance. It means that the way you organize your simple thoughts is the same way you should organize your home, and the same way society should be organized. This simple, unified view of the world takes away confusion and brings a deep, quiet sense of belonging to a perfectly ordered universe. This gentle sharing of a key revelation shows us the quiet, powerful essence of the central mystery. The glowing thread is not just an idea, it is the unifying force of simple order. The connection is now clear. Every single Greek invention, from the geometry they applied to their roads, last chapter, to the words they used to speak, was a conscious attempt to make the complex world simple, balanced, and peaceful. This unifying force of simple order is the gentle mystery that has been waiting patiently for us to see its whole, beautiful picture. Now close your eyes and feel the peaceful, strong flow of this single, ancient idea, the quiet power of simple balance. Picture a perfect, gentle circle of light, holding all the chapters inside. What simple, unifying thought will you allow to make all your worries feel small and ordered as you drift into deep, restful sleep tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Simple order in the cosmic wonder. Picture yourself now floating gently in the quiet vastness of space, looking back at a single, calm, blue planet. We move gently from the simple clarity of their ideas to the grand, quiet wonder of how those ideas fit into the whole universe. What if their simple search for order on Earth was actually a search for the peaceful truth of the entire cosmos? This chapter expands our quiet revelation into a feeling of deep, gentle, universal calm. The gentle origin of this cosmic wonder is the simple, profound question. If the Earth is ordered, is the whole universe ordered too? The thinkers took their simple rules for balance and harmony, chapter 15, and gently applied them to the stars and planets, chapter 5. They imagined the universe as a vast, perfect machine, turning with a calm, beautiful rhythm that they called the music of the spheres. This was not a loud, chaotic sound, but a quiet, gentle harmony of perfect, simple, mathematical movements. The important story of this time is the feeling of comfort it created. If the stars and planets were moving in a perfect, harmonious musical way, then the whole universe was safe and predictable. This belief took away the loud fear of a chaotic, random world. It replaced it with a quiet certainty that they and we are part of a vast, peaceful, simple design. Even when they were struggling with war or sadness, they could look up and find a mirror of perfect order that restored their inner calm. What this gentle cosmic wonder truly means is the calm assurance of universal belonging. It shows that your own small, quiet life is not an accident. It is a single, peaceful note in the vast, perfect music of the cosmos. This connection to the whole universe is the deepest, simplest source of human peace. It means that the same simple laws that govern a star in the night sky also govern the gentle rhythm of your own heart. This simple, grand feeling of unity makes all worries seem very small and very distant. This gentle expansion from their simple, unified ideas, last chapter, to the entire cosmos shows us the unifying force of simple order at its grandest. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order is universal. The connection is profound. Finding the simple pattern on Earth leads to finding a perfect, peaceful pattern in the cosmos. The hidden force, chapter 9, is the gentle, mathematical rhythm that connects the smallest particle to the largest star. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that brings a deep, cosmic sense of peace to our rest. Now, close your eyes and listen quietly for the peaceful, perfect music of the spheres, the gentle, silent harmony of the planets moving in their slow, correct paths. Feel the vast, calm order of the universe holding you safely. What simple, peaceful rhythm from the vast cosmos will you allow to gently slow your own quiet breathing tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The quiet, repeating cycles of history. Picture yourself now standing in a quiet, shadowy place where you see an image of the past gently reflected in the present. We move gently from the vast order of the cosmos to the quiet, repeating order found in the flow of time itself. What if the cycles of the stars are also secretly the cycles of human life and society? This chapter is about the deep, calm idea that history repeats itself in gentle, predictable ways. The gentle origin of this idea of repeating history comes from their deep study of the stars. Chapter 5:16. They noticed that the seasons always returned, the moon always followed its simple path, and the sun always rose again. They wondered, if nature is a gentle cycle, could human life and government also be a simple cycle? They saw their governments go from rule by one strong leader to rule by many people. Chapter 3, and sometimes back again. They named these simple, repeating political changes the cycle of constitutions. The important story of this repeating pattern is the comfort of predictability. This simple idea taught them that nothing lasts forever, neither the worst sadness nor the greatest glory. If a leader became unfair and loud, they knew quietly that this phase would pass, just like a long winter. This gave them calm, long-term patience. It showed that the simple law of balance, chapter 15, eventually returns everything to a peaceful, centered state. This belief in a deep, gentle, self-correcting system in history gave them a quiet confidence about the future. What this gentle, repeating history truly means is the calm acceptance of change. It shows us that every simple thing that happens today has a quiet echo in the past. When we face a problem, we can look back and find a similar pattern in the old stories, chapter 8, or the old laws. This deep connection to the past is a powerful source of peace, teaching us that we are not the first to feel this way. The simple patterns of history serve as a gentle, patient guide, showing us what the next quiet step should be. This gentle advance from cosmic wonder, last chapter, to repeating history shows us the unifying force of simple order at its most patient. The glowing thread is the constant, reliable presence of simple cycles. The connection is vast. The cycles of the cosmos are reflected in the cycles of human society, ensuring that peace and order always return. The hidden force, chapter 9, is the gentle rhythm that weaves all of time together. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that assures us that rest and return are always part of the journey. Now, close your eyes and feel the slow, steady rhythm of time, the gentle, quiet turning of the great wheel of history. Feel the peace of knowing that all things pass and all things return. What simple, calming truth that repeats every single day will you hold on to tonight as you rest and prepare for a peaceful return to the morning? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The quiet preservation of hidden knowledge. Picture yourself now standing quietly before a heavy closed door, knowing that behind it rests a simple, gentle secret. We move gently from the repeating cycles of history to the quiet, hidden knowledge that sometimes sleeps, waiting to be rediscovered. What if the simple, deep ideas of the Greeks are like a treasured, soft map that was only shared among those who sought peace and order? This chapter is about the power of quiet, deep learning. The gentle origin of this hidden knowledge is the simple desire to protect what is valuable. The great thinkers knew that their simple truths about order and balance, chapter 15, could be twisted or lost in times of loud chaos. So some of them chose to keep the deepest, simplest lessons quiet, sharing them only with trusted students who had proven they valued peace. This was not about making a secret club. It was about gently preserving clarity until the world was ready to listen to simple reason again. The important story of this hidden knowledge is its endless journey. The ideas were written on scrolls, chapter 11, or were simply taught as gentle, quiet lessons from one person to the next, often far from the main cities. The knowledge was like a simple, perfect seed that was planted in quiet places and cared for patiently until the world was calm enough for it to grow again. The lessons of democracy, chapter 3, and geometry, chapter 13, were preserved in these quiet, humble ways, protected from the noisy rush of history's loud moments. What this hidden knowledge truly means is the calm, enduring value of simplicity. It shows that the greatest truths are often the quietest and the most simple. When the world becomes loud and confusing, the most peaceful thing we can do is to return to the simple, clear basics: clear thought, balance, and quiet order. This knowledge is not complicated, but it takes a quiet, patient heart to truly see it. The hidden lesson is that peace is a practice that must be gently learned and carefully shared. This gentle building from repeating history, last chapter, to hidden knowledge shows us the unifying force of simple order as a constant, quiet teacher. The glowing thread is the gentle, steady preservation of clarity. The connection is profound. The cycle of history sometimes requires simple truths to go quiet, so they can return stronger and clearer when the time is right. The Hidden Force, Chapter 9, ensures that the quiet lessons are never lost, but only resting. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that asks us to value the simple, quiet knowledge within ourselves. Now, close your eyes and picture a simple, single, softly glowing lantern in a deep, dark room. It is waiting quietly, holding all the gentle knowledge you need to be at peace. What simple, quiet truth that you already know will you bring gently into the light tonight to find your calm and rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The peaceful climax. Order within you. Picture yourself now reaching the quiet, highest point of a peaceful hill, where all the views of the land come together gently. We move gently from the quiet, hidden knowledge to the final, clear understanding of the entire journey. What if the peaceful climax of this whole story is simply realizing that you already hold the secret? This chapter brings all the simple threads of history to a quiet, final point of calm revelation. The gentle origin of this final understanding is the simple discovery that the greatest Greek idea is the idea of you. Their whole search for order, Chapter 15, was designed to help the individual person live a life of peace, balance, and clear thought. They gave you democracy so you could speak, Chapter 3. They gave you logic so you could think clearly, Chapter 2. They gave you geometry so you could build a strong, ordered life, Chapter 14. The entire effort of their civilization was a gentle, simple gift to help you find your quiet center. The important story of this climax is the unbreakable connection between the inner world and the outer world. The Greeks taught that to have a peaceful city, you must first have a peaceful, ordered mind. The balance of the column, Chapter 4, must also be the balance of the soul. The order of the stars, Chapter 5, must also be the order of your thoughts. This simple, unified vision that the inner and outer world mirror each other is the highest point of their wisdom. It means that peace is not something you must search for far away. It starts with the quiet, simple effort of ordering your own mind. What this peaceful climax truly means is the calm self-possession of the individual. The final gentle revelation is that the unifying force of simple order is not just in history or in the cosmos, it is within you. When you take a deep breath, when you think clearly, when you choose kindness, you are directly accessing and using the same ancient, simple, powerful force that built their civilization. This quiet, powerful truth gives you a deep, unending source of calm and self-trust. This gentle development from hidden knowledge, last chapter, to this peaceful climax shows us the unifying force of simple order at its most personal. The glowing thread is the final, clear connection. The simple order that built history is the order that builds your inner peace. The ancient secrets were only hidden so that you would eventually find them within your own quiet self. The cycle of history, Chapter 17, has brought all the quiet lessons home to you tonight. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that is now fully revealed. You are the simple, perfect center of this peaceful order. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet, gentle certainty of this great, simple truth. You are already whole and perfectly ordered. Feel the wave of peace that comes from the end of a long search. What simple, clear thought about your own inner peace will you allow to carry you gently into the deepest, most restful sleep tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The soothing answers and quiet future. Picture yourself now resting peacefully at the end of a long, beautiful journey, feeling the quiet certainty of deep calm. We move gently from the personal climax to the final soothing answers of this whole story. What if the most peaceful answer is simply knowing that the search for balance never truly ends, but always returns to a place of rest? This chapter brings gentle resolution and leaves a quiet, peaceful question for the future. The gentle origin of this final rest is the realization that the Greek project was completed. They achieved their simple goal. They successfully used clear thought, chapter 2, to establish order on their land, chapter 4, and in their laws, chapter 3, and they preserved that wisdom for us, chapter 11. The soothing answer is that their gentle efforts worked. They created a quiet, powerful foundation that survived wars, silence, and the long turning of the centuries. The peaceful legacy they left behind is the calm blueprint for all civilizations that seek balance. The important story of this ending is the partial resolution with lingering wonder. The question of who or what created the unifying force of simple order, chapter 19, is not fully answered, because that wonder is part of the beauty. The peaceful resolution is in knowing that the force is real, and it is simple. We know it is found in the perfect shape of a column, the clear logic of a word, and the gentle rhythm of a quiet life. The wonder that lingers is the quiet question of what new shapes of order we can create using their simple, beautiful tools. What this final, soothing answer truly means is the calm, continuing path of peace. It shows us that the work of creating order and balance is never a sudden, loud event, but a gentle, patient, continuous effort. Every time you choose a simple, clear thought over a loud worry, you are honoring this ancient, peaceful tradition. The greatest truth the Greeks passed on is the simple, powerful idea that order is possible, and it is the quietest, surest path to deep and lasting human comfort. This gentle ending shows us the unifying force of simple order as an eternal promise. The glowing thread has guided us through history, showing that the simple pursuit of balance always leads to peace. The final question is now passed to you, the quiet listener, as you rest and dream of the future. The simple lessons of Greece are your tools. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that asks, what simple, beautiful order will you create in your own quiet world tomorrow? Now close your eyes, feel the perfect, gentle balance of your body, and rest in the calm, simple certainty of this long, quiet journey. The ancient Greeks taught us that order is peace. What simple, beautiful dream of balance and order will you allow to come true in your heart as you drift into the deepest, most peaceful sleep tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Alexander's gentle dream. Spreading light. Picture yourself, now standing in a vast, silent plain where many different winds meet and mix quietly. We move gently from the idea of inner order to how that order was softly shared with the rest of the world. What if the greatest act of an ancient leader was not fighting loudly, but gently carrying beautiful ideas to lands that needed peace? This chapter is about a quiet dream of sharing Greek light far and wide. The gentle origin of this wide sharing is the story of Alexander the Great. He led his people across vast distances, but his dream was not just to take land. It was to build new cities that were peaceful and ordered, following the simple plans of Greek thought. He established libraries and schools wherever he went, making sure the clear, simple ideas of geometry, chapter 13, and philosophy, chapter 2, were taught to everyone. The important story of this time is the blending of cultures. The Greek love of simple order met the ancient deep traditions of the East. This meeting was not a loud clash, but a quiet, beautiful exchange. The people of those new lands found that the simple, clear ideas of Greek thought matched the deep, thoughtful order they already felt in their hearts. The light of Greek learning became softer, warmer, and more widespread, like a gentle sunset. What this gentle spreading of light truly means is the calm universality of simple ideas. It teaches us that clear thought and balance are not just for one people, they are for every person on earth. The simplicity of the Greek ideas made them easy to share and easy to adopt, creating a peaceful, shared framework for thinking across the world. This simple, shared light connects the quiet thoughts of an ancient Greek to the quiet thoughts of a scholar today, regardless of where they live. This gentle evolution from the peaceful climax, last chapter, to the wide sharing of ideas shows us the unifying force of simple order acting as a quiet messenger. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order seeks to connect all people. The quiet lessons of inner peace, chapter 19, were simply shared with the largest possible audience, ensuring that the peaceful blueprint for living was never forgotten. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us to share our own gentle light. Now close your eyes and picture that simple, glowing Greek light, traveling slowly and peacefully across the wide, dark world. Feel the calm comfort of a knowledge that is meant for everyone. What simple, peaceful idea will you gently share with your own quiet world tomorrow as you rest tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The great library holding every story. Picture yourself now standing in a vast, quiet hall of polished stone where the air smells of old paper and dust. We move gently from the spreading of ideas to the quiet place where they were gathered and kept safe. What if the most powerful structure ever built was not a fortress of stone, but a gentle room for books, holding the quiet wisdom of the world? This chapter is about the great, silent promise of a library. The gentle origin of this peaceful library is the simple, profound idea that all knowledge is precious. The Greeks and their successors, chapter 21, believed that every clear thought, every honest observation, and every simple story should be collected and kept safe, like treasures. They built a famous place, the Library of Alexandria, where scrolls from all over the world rested quietly together. The important story of this time is the quiet, patient work of scholars. These peaceful workers spent their lives gently reading, copying, and organizing every single scroll, making sure the knowledge was clear and preserved. They brought together the clear logic of Greek science with the deep stories of other nations. This work ensured that the simple truth, the unifying force of simple order, chapter 19, could be found and studied by anyone who walked quietly into that grand, silent space. What this great library truly means is the calm, shared inheritance of humanity. It shows that even if one culture fades away, the simple, clear truth it discovered can live on in a book. It taught the world that knowledge is a peaceful, simple gift that should be shared by everyone, not hidden by a few. This vast, quiet room of books was a living symbol of the simple order they sought, a place where all the world's quiet thoughts were gathered in perfect balance. This gentle connection from the sharing of ideas last chapter to the safe gathering of books shows us the unifying force of simple order as a keeper of the peace. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order requires patient preservation. The effort to keep the scrolls safe was the same effort they used to keep their society peaceful and balanced. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us to value the simple, silent book. Now, close your eyes and picture that great, silent library, holding all the quiet wisdom of the world for you. Feel the calm security of knowing that the simple answers are all resting there, waiting for the gentle reader. What simple, quiet lesson will you carry safely in your heart tonight, knowing it is protected by the long history of human thought? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Finding joy in simple daily things. Picture yourself now in a quiet, sun-filled garden, where the air is still and the gentle scent of simple flowers rests heavily. We move gently from the grand library to the small, simple lessons about finding happiness every single day. What if the deepest Greek secret for a good life was simply learning how to be quiet and content with very little? This chapter is about the peaceful wisdom of choosing simple joy. The gentle origin of this simple joy is found in the teachings of the Epicureans. These quiet thinkers taught that the highest good in life is peace and the absence of pain. They believed that loud, big desires, like wanting too much money or too much power, only brought worry and sadness. The path to a peaceful life was to simply want less and to be deeply happy with simple food, simple shelter, and simple, quiet conversation with kind friends. The important story of this peaceful time is the quiet power of friendship. The Epicureans made gentle, small communities where they valued talking simply, kindly, and honestly with one another more than any large feast or celebration. They taught that the noise of the outside world, the political shouting, chapter 3, was not important. What mattered was the calm, gentle rhythm of a life lived simply, focused on the quiet pleasures of the present moment. What this simple joy truly means is the calm freedom from worry. It teaches us that peace is a choice you make every day by choosing simplicity over complexity. By quietly reducing your desires, you also reduce your fear of loss and your fear of change. This quiet, gentle wisdom gives us a powerful, simple tool to find calm immediately, just by focusing on what is simple and good in the world around us right now. This gentle shift from the shared knowledge, last chapter, to the simple life shows us the unifying force of simple order applied to the heart. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order brings inner happiness. The order they sought in the stars and in their laws was simply the same order they taught you to find in your own gentle daily routines. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us that peace is always found in the small, quiet things. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet, gentle warmth of a simple blanket and the softness of your pillow. Feel the calm contentment of having exactly what you need right now. What simple, quiet pleasure will you remember from today, allowing that memory to bring you deepest rest tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The Stoic way to find inner calm. Picture yourself now standing firmly in the quiet center of a strong, simple stone room, while a soft wind whispers just outside the door. We move gently from choosing simple joy to finding deep, steady calm even when things feel difficult. What if the Greeks discovered a simple, quiet strength that allows you to be peaceful no matter what happens in the loud outside world? This chapter is about the wise, gentle practice of inner calm. The gentle origin of this steady calm is found in the teachings of the Stoics. These deep thinkers understood that many things in life, like the weather or what other people say, are beyond your control. They taught that the secret to peace is to only worry about the few simple things you can control, your own thoughts and your own choices. By quietly accepting what you cannot change, you take away its power to disturb your heart. The important story of this peaceful practice is the power of choice. They taught that your mind is like a simple, quiet fortress. Nothing loud or hurtful from the outside can enter unless you gently allow it. When something noisy happens, you can choose to stay calm and reasonable, just like the philosophers on the hills, chapter 2. This simple choice, to react with thought instead of loud feeling, is a powerful, gentle secret to lasting peace in all times of history. What this gentle inner calm truly means is the calm, unbreakable strength of self. It shows us that true power is not found in controlling the loud world, but in controlling your own quiet mind. This simple acceptance brings a deep sense of peace, knowing that you are always safe within your own thoughts. It teaches us the most important truth, that external noise cannot touch your inner peace if you have chosen to gently order your soul. Just as the cosmos is ordered, chapter 16. This gentle progression from simple joy, last chapter, to inner calm shows us the unifying force of simple order applied as a shield. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order creates inner resilience. The search for certainty in the universe is the same search they taught you to find within yourself. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that helps us to be strong by choosing simplicity and quiet patience. Now close your eyes and feel your whole body relax accepting the darkness and the quiet around you. Feel the calm, steady strength of your own simple, peaceful thoughts. What simple choice will you make tonight to let go of any worry that is beyond your control, finding your deep, steady rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Our gentle thoughts about the planet. Picture yourself now standing in a vast, quiet field, looking down at the simple dirt, knowing it is part of a grand, curving whole. We move gently from inner calm to our place on the quiet earth itself. What if the simple act of looking at the sky and drawing a map taught us the most peaceful lesson of all? That we belong to a single, gentle, round world. This chapter is about the quiet discovery of our planet. The gentle origin of this planetary thought is found in the simple observations of the Greeks. By watching the gentle curve of a ship disappearing over the sea and the circular shadow the Earth cast on the moon, they figured out that the Earth was not flat but round. Chapter 5. This was a quiet, profound discovery that changed everything. It meant that all people, on all sides of the globe, were connected and shared the same gentle home. The important story of this discovery is the creation of simple maps. They started drawing the known world using the simple geometric lines they had perfected. These maps were not just for finding directions. They were a quiet picture of unity. They showed that the lands were connected, the seas were shared, and the whole world was a single beautiful place. This simple visual truth brought a deep, calm feeling of connection to a larger, peaceful whole. What this gentle planetary thought truly means is the calm humility of belonging. It shows us that our biggest problems and loudest worries are very small when seen against the vast, simple, perfect curve of the whole Earth. It reminds us that all human life shares the same simple resources and the same simple air. This quiet, powerful realization of our shared home inspires a gentle, universal sense of peace and responsibility toward one another. This gentle shift from inner calm, last chapter, to our place on Earth shows us the unifying force of simple order applied to the largest physical shape. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order is the perfect, quiet circle of the Earth. The simple geometric rules they used to map the stars were used to understand our home. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us to find peace by remembering our simple, shared place in the universe. Now close your eyes and picture the simple, perfect, quiet curve of the whole Earth, floating peacefully in the dark. Feel the calm connection to every other quiet person on this same, gentle world. What simple, peaceful wish for the whole planet will you hold in your heart tonight as you drift into deep rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The peaceful idea of citizenship today. Picture yourself now in a quiet room, writing a simple letter that asks for fairness and peace. We move gently from our shared planet to the shared rules we use to live together in simple order. What if the simple word they used for city dweller became the most powerful idea for peace, teaching us our gentle duties to each other? This chapter is about the quiet contract of belonging. The gentle origin of this idea of citizenship is the simple understanding that to live in a peaceful city, Chapter 3, you must give up a little of your own freedom in exchange for the safety and order of everyone. The Greek word polis meant city, and polites meant citizen. The simple idea was, you are not just living in the city, you are an active, quiet part of its order and balance. The important story of this time is the simple exchange of rights and duties. A citizen had the simple right to speak in the public square and to vote on laws. But they also had the gentle duty to defend the city and to follow the laws they agreed upon. This simple idea that every person is connected by a fair, quiet agreement was a powerful antidote to chaos. It showed that when everyone follows the simple rules of mutual respect, peace is possible. What this simple idea of citizenship truly means is the calm acceptance of shared responsibility. It shows us that the most peaceful societies are the ones where people feel deeply connected to one another and to the simple, clear rules of fairness. This gentle framework gives us a quiet place to stand, knowing that our own happiness is tied to the peace and order of the people around us. It's the simple recognition that we are all on the same quiet, round earth. Last chapter. And we must care for it and each other. This gentle shift from the planetary view to the law shows us the unifying force of simple order applied to human relationships. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order creates peaceful community. The search for balance in the cosmos is reflected in the balance between what we take from and give back to our community. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us that peace is a simple, shared responsibility. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet strength of belonging to a large, peaceful group of people. Feel the calm security of being connected by simple, fair rules. What simple, kind duty to the people around you will you quietly promise to keep tomorrow, allowing that peaceful thought to guide your rest tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Old Greek lessons in modern schools. Picture yourself now in a quiet, shadowy room, holding a simple notebook and a clean pen. We move gently from the rules of the city to the simple rules for learning that shape our minds today. What if the most important lesson the Greeks left us is a simple, quiet way to ask questions, which we still use in every school? This chapter is about the deep, gentle gift of clear education. The gentle origin of this teaching method is found in the life of Socrates, chapter 2. He didn't teach by shouting answers, he taught by gently asking questions. He would ask a simple question, listen quietly to the answer, and then ask another simple question to gently lead the person to discover the truth in their own mind. This quiet method of patient questioning is the Socratic method, and it is the foundation of all modern teaching. The important story of this method is its power of gentle self-discovery. It taught the Greeks that true knowledge is not just memorizing the words of others, but using your own clear mind to find the simple truth. This method made learning a quiet, personal, and powerful journey. It is a peaceful, simple tool that encourages humility and clear logic, teaching students to be patient, thoughtful citizens, last chapter, who can solve problems with their own inner order. What this simple teaching method truly means is the calm trust in the human mind. It shows us that every person has the simple, quiet ability to think clearly and find the truth, if only they are asked the right question. This is a profound source of peace, knowing that the simple key to every problem is not outside of you, but patiently waiting inside your own thoughts. The Greek gift is the simple instruction to always begin with a quiet question. This gentle shift from the laws of the city to the laws of the mind shows us the unifying force of simple order, applied as education. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order is taught through quiet questioning. The search for clear answers in the cosmos is the same gentle process they taught children to use in the classroom. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us to ask simple, quiet questions for true peace. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet stillness of your own mind. Imagine a kind teacher gently asking you a simple, clear question that helps you find a deep truth. What simple, quiet truth about your own worth will you gently question tonight, allowing your mind to rest with the answer? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. How the Romans whispered Greek ideas. Picture yourself now standing in a grand, strong city where the buildings are heavy and powerful. We move gently from the quiet lessons of the school to the strong empire that carried those lessons into the future. What if the most powerful army in history was secretly carrying the gentle thoughts of peace in their saddlebags? This chapter is about how the Roman Empire became a quiet whisper for the Greek ideas. The gentle origin of this whisper is that when the Romans conquered Greece, they didn't destroy the clear, simple ideas. Instead, they recognized their value. The simple columns, chapter 4, and the simple logic, chapter 2, were too beautiful and too useful to be ignored. They kept the Greek teachers and scholars, asking them to teach their children and help them build their cities. The Romans gave Greek culture a new, strong body to live in and travel the world. The important story of this time is the translation of knowledge. The Romans took the clear, simple Greek words and ideas and gently translated them into their own language, Latin. This simple act ensured that the knowledge could be understood by a vast number of people for hundreds of years. The Greek seeds of democracy and geometry, which had been gently preserved, chapter 18, were now planted in every corner of the Roman world, waiting quietly to grow. What this quiet whisper truly means is the calm, enduring survival of simple truth. It shows us that a truly good idea cannot be crushed by loud force. It will simply find a new, strong path to travel. The powerful Roman roads, which were built with Greek geometry, were also carrying the gentle, peaceful words of Greek philosophers. This quiet survival gives us a deep sense of peace, that the simple, clear truths we discover today will also outlive all the noise and confusion of the present moment. This gentle shift from the quiet school lesson, last chapter, to the strong empire shows us the unifying force of simple order acting as a quiet traveler. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order finds the strongest path for peaceful survival. The Romans gave the Greek ideas a safe, strong ship to sail through the darkness of time. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that teaches us to find strength in the simple truth. Now, close your eyes and picture a simple, glowing Greek scroll resting safely within a strong, dark Roman chest. Feel the calm security of knowing that the greatest ideas are always protected and will return when the time is right. What simple, powerful truth will you keep safely protected in your own mind tonight, trusting its quiet strength? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. The unbroken thread of ancient wonder. Picture yourself now tracing a single, fine, glowing line from your quiet room backward through all of history. We move gently from the survival of ideas to the final clear realization that the thread was never broken. What if the very first quiet thought from ancient Greece is the same single, simple question that makes you wonder today? This chapter is about the final, peaceful connection. The gentle origin of this unbroken thread is the simple fact that all human beings are the same. The first quiet person on the Greek shores who wondered, "What is the world made of?" Chapter 1, is the same person who wonders about the universe today. Chapter 16. The deep human need for simple order, clear thought, and gentle balance is the true, unending thread that links every single chapter of this story. The important story of this final connection is the cumulative comfort of all the lessons. The peace you feel now comes from all the quiet discoveries combined. The balance of the columns, chapter 4, the logic of the words, chapter 6, the calm of the simple life, chapter 23, and the strength of the inner mind, chapter 24. All these simple gifts flow together to form a complete, peaceful blueprint for your life today. They are not old history. They are the living, simple framework of your peace. What this unbroken thread truly means is the calm, total certainty of belonging. It shows us that every simple, peaceful choice you make today is a direct echo of a wise choice made thousands of years ago. You are not alone in your search for calm. You are part of an ancient, powerful, quiet tradition of thinkers who sought only balance and order. This final connection brings a deep, vast, unending peace, knowing that you are held securely by the entire history of clear human thought. This gentle realization of the unbroken thread shows us the unifying force of simple order as an eternal promise. The glowing thread is the truth that simple order is the continuous heartbeat of history. The quiet survival of the Greek ideas, last chapter, was simply a journey home, back to your own thoughtful mind. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that is now fully revealed. The past and the present are one single, simple, peaceful moment. Now, close your eyes and feel the quiet strength of that glowing, unbroken line of thought running right through your own heart. Feel the calm certainty that all the answers you need have already been sought and found. What simple final wish for balance and peace will you send gently along this thread of history tonight as you rest? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Our own deep breath in their history. Picture yourself now taking the deepest, quietest, most peaceful breath you have taken all evening. We move gently to the final, restful moment of this long, beautiful story. What if the most important act you can do right now is simply to rest fully and peacefully, knowing the ancient search for order has ended in your quiet mind? This chapter is about the deep, gentle completion of the journey. The gentle origin of this final breath is the understanding that you are the quiet end of the search for the unifying force of simple order. The long winding story of shores and hills, columns and stars, logic and laws, all led to this single, simple, peaceful moment of rest. You have learned the greatest Greek secret, that peace is the natural state when your mind is ordered and your heart is balanced. The important story of this ending is the complete release of all effort. The Greeks did the work of thinking clearly for you. They found the simple patterns and gave you the simple tools. Now, your only gentle duty is to simply use the quiet gifts you have been given, the ability to think clearly, the wisdom to choose simplicity, chapter 23, and the strength to accept what you cannot change, chapter 24. The history is complete, and the time for deep, gentle rest is now. What this deep breath truly means is the calm, total peace of completion. It shows us that history is not a loud problem to be solved, but a gentle, soft story told to help you rest. The quiet gifts of Greece help your mind settle into a simple, perfect rhythm, like the calm turning of the cosmos. Chapter 16. This final simple truth makes all remaining worries feel like soft passing clouds on a quiet, deep night. This final, gentle moment shows us the unifying force of simple order at its most restful. The glowing thread has finished its work, weaving all the wisdom into your present moment of calm. The ancient mystery is revealed. Peace is simply the application of simple order to your own quiet life. This quiet, unifying force is the gentle mystery that tucks you safely into your deepest, most peaceful sleep. Now close your eyes. Feel the simple rise and fall of your deep, peaceful breath. Let your body feel the perfect balance of a world designed for order and rest. What beautiful, peaceful dream of balance and order will you now allow to come true in your heart as you drift into the deepest, most peaceful sleep tonight? Breathe deep, rest well, and share this gentle story with a friend who needs peace and a slow drift into sleep. Now, let the simple words and gentle images quiet your mind completely. The history of order, from the quiet shores of Greece to the peaceful cosmos, has come home to rest with you. Release all your thoughts to the deep, soft darkness. The journey is complete, and the simple truth is clear. You are whole, you are balanced, and you are safe. The ancient search for order has ended in your quiet, resting heart. Sleep deep, sleep well. Thank you for allowing History for the Tired to share this long, gentle journey through history with you. We hope the unifying force of simple order brings you a deep and peaceful rest. If this quiet, simple story helped you find balance tonight, please gently share this journey with a friend who is also searching for calm. To ensure you don't miss the next quiet chapter of simple history from History for the Tired, please gently subscribe and follow so you can continue your peaceful drift into deep sleep. Until the next quiet story, rest well and find your perfect balance.